that this idea of the image that is digitized and you think will always be there and it's cheaper and it's faster. Anything cheaper and faster, it makes sense for the businessman to finance, But the danger, especially I think in our culture, is that the cheaper, faster is consumed, bang, goes away. There's nothing. There's no nourishment.
It has to be forced obsolescence.
Yeah. And so that's the danger.
There's quite a big debate between digital and film in cinema, and I'm sort of on the fence, but leaning towards digital. So I quite like the way it's progressed, the way things are made. So there are new films that are stunning because of the special effects, like Gravity, which came out quite recently, is completely different to a lot of things that have been seen before. There are people in space. I mean, there are films like 2001: Space Odyssey, but the effects on that are minuscule and insignificant almost compared to something like Gravity. Digital also has kind of led on to CGI and different kinds of animation, which is, in my opinion, very positive because there are beautiful, wonderful films like Up and Finding Nemo that have come out in the past 10-15 years. These films are not what people would maybe necessarily mix with or want to mix, or purists wouldn't want to mix with traditional cinema, but in my opinion I think they're still a wonderful piece of art. Up has a story where you're kind of thrown around like a normal film. It's got emotion, it's got humour, and it's still beautiful to watch. With film, like traditional film, you can't really do that thing because you can't use CGI to that extent. So, in my opinion, digital has kind of moved on quite a lot and improved cinema.
Obviously, digitally enhanced effects can massively improve film and make it far more vivid, far more visually appealing, and do things that you never could have done. If you take something like Transformers, is not a film that could be made. Some would say it shouldn't have been made, but it's not a film that could have been made previous to the effect without it ending up looking something terrible like the Power Rangers. Equally though, I would say there's a misuse of effects. For example, let's take something like Transformers, where the film has relied overly heavily on effects to the point where it's all about the visual, and the substance of the narrative and the substance of the performance and the directorial art is kind of lost behind, hey, look what we can do. I think perhaps for me, one of the strongest examples of this is probably Peter Jackson with Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. If you watch Lord of the Rings, particularly The Fellowship of the Ring, the use of effects in that film is extremely understated. The cave troll appears in the darkness. Yes, the Balrog is there, but it's held back. We only see part of it. There's the clever use of effects to enhance the storyline and increase the tension. And that big final reveal of the Balrog is a dramatic moment. It's well-used effects within the cinematic choices. Compare that to The Hobbit, and what you actually have is pretty much overuse of digital effects in almost every scene, where the kind of craft of the story has been lost in the attempt to do something fancy. The whole chase through the underground section is far too long and is clearly set up to exploit the use of 3D. 3D is a great development, yet it doesn't actually need to be the point of a scene. Similarly, the giants fighting across the mountains. it may be something you can do with digital, but it's still stupid.